You're the chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, a very strategic group that helps to drive the political economic landscape of the nation. Now, can you just shed a bit light on so far the economic outlook of Nigeria at the moment and what it poses for the future?
Well, certainly from our point of view, when you look at all the indicators and all that's going on, I'm tempted to say that there's a positive outlook as far as the outlook is concerned. Obviously, the next challenge, seeing this positive outlook, is to ensure that it becomes a reality. But if you look at all the indicators and the direction and the reforms that the government is putting in place in various areas, and look at the effort that's being made by the various ministries and agencies and so on, it seems as if, yes, we are hopefully heading in the right direction. But this has got to be sustained. There's a lot of hard work that's got to be done, hard and honest work that's got to be done, and it's got to be very, very consistent as well. So from our point of view, we see that, yes, we support a free market economy. That's what we talk about at the Economic Summit Group. The government is promoting and supporting a free market economy. We're saying that bearing that in mind, we've got to put in place the regulatory framework to ensure that whilst we are free, at the same time we are free within the boundaries of the law, within the boundaries of fair competition, within the boundaries of integrity, and so on and so forth. So for us, we say the outlook looks interesting. Let's not worry too much for now about the politics of the environment, which is a different issue. But from an economic point of view, certainly the intentions are very, very positive, and we just hope that we are strong enough and supportive enough to sustain and push it through.
Now, one aspect raised over the years has been growing the small medium enterprise. How has the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, in partnership with government, able to uplift the small medium enterprise, which is key for the growth of the economy?
Well, what I always say is that when you want to grow the SMEs, it's almost like that you don't go directly to the SMEs. Now, what I mean is this. I'll give you a little example. If you have an auto assembly plant, okay, when you have an auto assembly plant, you probably find that on average you have anything from 1,000 to 2,000 suppliers of different parts, from nuts and bolts and screws and engine blocks and fabrics and all kinds of stuff to make a complete vehicle. It is because you have an assembly plant that pulls on the demand for all these products that creates opportunities for all these SMEs. So I'm saying that on one part you have SMEs that feed into a larger hierarchy of activities in the economy, and then you've got SMEs that stand on their own. They are the beginning and the end of the products that they make. Now, part of the problems we've had in the past is that we haven't had these huge industries and these huge establishments and these huge manufacturing plants and so on that is pulling on SMEs to perform and serve in that value chain. Until they begin to happen, we will not have that explosion that we require. We will have pockets of attempts, but in terms of a mass explosion, it becomes a bit of a challenge.
Okay. Now, the 19th summit of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group is focusing on agriculture, a shift from various other topics you've had over the years. Why the focus on agriculture?
Okay. First of all, again, we've come to realize that agriculture has always been the original path of Nigeria before oil came and interrupted our progress. I still believe today that if we didn't have oil, we'd be a much wealthier country than we currently are, in spite of the oil. Now, the reason why we focus on agriculture is that we've said to ourselves, what is it? What is that one thing that we can get the country to accept that this is our national value proposition, okay, to be an agricultural country for now. Secondly, one that can engage as many people as possible so that there's a role for everybody to play. And thirdly, one that is natural, that we have a natural competitive advantage for, i.e. our climate, the weather, the location that we're in, the soil, and so many other things that works in favor of us pursuing agriculture. And so we thought to ourselves that when you look at what the Minister for Agriculture is doing, which is a totally new concept, a new philosophy, his opening words are always, agriculture is not about something, it's not a development program, it's not an aid program for farmers, it's big business. And until you get big investors involved, you really cannot appreciate the impact of it. Now, I have been to Shonga farms, and I'm just amazed at what you call, when you talk about commercial farming, it is a phenomenal thing. So because of that, we've said that at the Economic Summit, that let us all gather together, have a common purpose of saying, how can we transform in our mindset the idea that agriculture is business. It's not an aid program, it's business. And how can everybody key into it? It is through agriculture that we can kick off our industrial production, our industrial revolution. And most countries started with agriculture, then they moved to the industrial phase whereby they have to start processing the outputs. And it is in processing the output from the farm that you begin to start your agricultural process, and then the whole value chain of support, the whole ecosystem around the agro business then begins to take place. So we're saying that, look, if there's one thing that we can use to kick off the economy and to give it another boost in the list of activities that's going on, then it's got to be agriculture. And now the Economic Summit Group, as a matter of fact, over the years, we focused on policy issues. Now we're saying what policies must drive this agro-business that will lead to industrialization. That's why we're focusing on it.
And finally, sir, Nigeria has a demography dominated by youth, over 75% population. How is NESG engaging the youth, also knowing that there needs to be a succession planning?
In recent times, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, we've actually started the youth wing, and most of them have been young entrepreneurs. In fact, the one program we had recently had to do around agriculture, trying to get young people that are involved in agriculture itself. At this year's summit, we actually have a program whereby part of the program focuses on agropreneurs. I think that's the term we use, agropreneurs. That is, people who are in agriculture and are entrepreneurs and want to be entrepreneurial about agriculture. And so it's just another action on our part to show that we're paying attention to the young people, we're paying attention to what they're doing. So we have a youth wing that we're trying to encourage. We're trying to also encourage the entrepreneurial part of it, and we're trying to link it at this summit to the agro part of it.